Hi students, welcome to VerandaRace, and today we are going to study the chapter Adjectives. So before we proceed and understand what are adjectives, let me tell you that generally we have this perception or habit of describing people, telling them they are good, bad, they are intelligent, they are handsome, they are strong, they are foolish, they are morons, whatever words we use for them, these words are known as adjectives. So let us move ahead and understand what are our learning objectives for today. Today we are going to study adjectives. We are going to study types of adjectives, rules related to adjectives, exercises based on adjectives, and 12 high frequency words. We are going to learn 12 high frequency words. So let us move ahead and see what is an adjective. That's the introduction of adjective. An adjective describes or qualifies a noun by giving some information, or rather I should say extra information, such as size, shape, age, color, origin, or material. So adjective is a word that qualifies a noun, tells the quality of a noun or the quantity of a noun. That is known as an adjective. It's a word. Example: India is a large country. Large is a word which describes the hugeness, enormity of something. So India is a large country. The word large describes the size of the country. So this word is an adjective. Then Ooty is a famous hill station. Famous. This word tells how famous Ooty is. So it's an adjective. Tells the popularity of the place. The clever man fooled the woman. The clever man. So clever is an adjective that tells the smartness, intelligence, the resourcefulness of the person, the smartness of the person. Clever in the sense is very witty, or not witty, I would say. If he has fooled the woman, it means he is witty in a negative sense. He has befooled the woman. Okay. So moving ahead, let us see what are the types of adjectives. First is qualitative adjective. Qualitative adjectives. So obviously the word suggests, it tells the quality of a noun. Quality of a noun. A quality adjective describes the size, shape, color, or attribute of a person or thing. So person or thing is a noun. So the word that describes the attribute, the trait of a noun is known as a qualitative adjective. Obviously the size, shape, color and all, like the size, shape, color and the attribute of a person or thing, that's known as a qualitative adjective. What a beautiful place. Beautiful is a word that is a qualitative adjective, describes the quality of the place, the beauty of the place. I never wear a white shirt. It's a color, so it's a qualitative adjective. Why have you given me a broken pen to write with? Why have you given me a broken pen to write with? So broken is a word that describes the quality of the pen, or maybe the nib for that matter, or for that matter the pen. So it's a broken pen. So it's a quality, it's a trait of that particular attribute of that particular pen. Clear? Moving ahead. Quantitative adjectives. Obviously the word suggests quantity, quantitative. So it tells about, describes the amount or quantity of uncountable nouns and number of countable nouns. So what we have done over here, we have put the number and the quantity into one section called quantitative adjectives. Generally, further we can subdivide it into numeral adjectives and again quantitative adjectives, which tells the amount and the number. So definite numeral adjectives and indefinite numeral adjectives. So we have mentioned over here that it describes the quantity or the number of the noun, which is again a quantitative adjective. Gita believes that successful people show little kindness. Little means almost none, no kindness. A little means some kindness, which we will discuss later on. The examination was taken by 78 candidates all over India. So 78 is a number, tells the number of the people who took the examination. In this way, we can understand that little or few or some or many, these are quantitative adjectives, which tells the quantity or the number of a noun. Clear? Moving ahead. Next is emphasizing adjectives. What are emphasizing adjectives? Emphasizing adjective is used to emphasize a statement. For example, Shiva has seen all those happen that day with her own eyes. So this is something which emphasizes the word eyes, her own eyes. So emphasizing adjectives emphasizes the noun. Next, he is the very boy who was disturbing the class. So this very word is an adverb also, but here it has been used before the word boy, so it becomes an emphasizing adjective. Let me tell you one thing. Adjectives are used in two ways. One is attributively, and one is predicatively. So what is attributively and what is predicatively? I'll tell you the next slide. Basically, if the adjective is used before a noun, it becomes attributive adjective. If it is used at the last of the sentence, it becomes predicative adjective. Clear? So let me give you the example later on. So let us move from emphasizing adjectives to order of adjectives. So before I tell you the order of adjectives, let me give one example of predicatively used adjective and one example of attributively used adjective. I'll give an example over here. He is a smart boy. So what is the meaning of smart? Smart doesn't mean handsome. Smart means resourceful. How a street smart person, how a person can get a job done. He's a smart person. So here you can see this word is boy and this smart word has been used before the word boy. So here it is attributively used adjective. But if I say Ram is smart, in that case smart has been used predicatively, which is again at the last of the sentence. A part of the predicate, I should say, predicate. Then it becomes predicatively used adjective. So we are understanding the order of adjectives. Often a noun is qualified by more than one adjective. In that case, what happens? In such a case, it is important to decide how the adjectives should be ordered or sequenced or placed in the sentence. Which adjective should come first, which should come second, and so on. This is a certain rule. I'll tell you the rule. S, A, C, N, M. This is the rule. S, A, C, N, M. Size, shape. Again, it's attribute. Size, shape, age, not attribute. Age, color, nationality, and material noun. Size, shape, age, color, nationality, and material noun. This is the way how it is arranged. The order of adjectives. I recently bought a beautiful German-made sports bike. German is nationality. Made is a verb. Okay. Sports means again a noun, material, and bike is a noun, and sports bike. So this way, I'll give you a better example. Before that, let us see the second example. The meeting was held in an impressive high round arena. So let me give you one very good example. I bought a big round size. See size. I bought a big round 30-year-old black American table. This way it should be used. SSACNN. I bought a big round 10-year-old white British umbrella. This way we can use the order of adjectives. SSACNM. I'll repeat for you once again. Size, shape, age, color or complexion, nationality and material noun. Clear? Moving ahead. Comparison of adjectives. What are see, if we say there's a word that describes a person, obviously a person having a certain attribute may be lesser than a person having the same attribute. For example, somebody is smart, somebody can be smarter than him, somebody can be the smartest of all. Getting my point, right? So when I say lesser, don't confuse it with less. So I'll first, before I proceed with the comparison of adjectives, I'd like to say There's a difference between less and lesser. If I say, I don't want to live a life of the lesser mortals. Lesser means weaker people. People who are weak than we are. Less means in quantity. I have drunk less water than he has, but I am no lesser than him. So lesser means weaker and less means in quantity, lesser means in quality. Clear? So there are three types of comparisons. One is positive adjective, means when we talk about comparison, first we need to understand how many types of adjectives are there in terms of comparison. So an adjective can be of the positive degree, so it's a positive adjective. Then it can be comparative adjective and then it can be superlative adjective. Good is positive degree, better is comparative degree, and best is superlative degree. So in positive degree adjective, we tend to not describe it in a comparative way. We say that this person is good means we are not comparing him with anyone else. But when we say he is better than John, obviously he has certain qualities which are more prominent than John has. Then we say this man is the best of all. So that is a superlative degree. So when we comparison can be in three ways: positive, comparative and superlative. Moving ahead. The positive degree is used either to describe a single thing or person or in comparisons that are at the same level. Basically, positive degree adjective is used to describe people or compare people of the same level. Manoj is very witty. We are not comparing him with anyone else. Manoj is very witty, just a normal statement. Madan is as witty as Manoj. So here we are using the positive degree to compare Madan and Manoj. Here we are comparing but using the positive degree. In the first sentence, we are simply mentioning that Manoj is witty. Clear? Okay, moving ahead. The comparative degree is used for unequal comparisons between the quality or quantity of two things or persons. Let me ask you, for comparison, how many entities do you need? You need at least two entities, right? One thing can be good, something can be better. We need at least two entities for a comparative degree. We can compare a person with, suppose our sample size is 1 lakh. So I say Sachin Tendulkar is 1 in a lakh. 1 in lakh of people, 1 lakh people. So 1 is separate from, exclusive from 99,999. So we can compare 1 and the remaining amount. So the Eiffel Tower is taller than, this is the comparison of tall, taller, tallest. So taller is the comparative degree of tall. The Eiffel Tower is taller than the Qutub Minar. The river Yamuna is shorter than the Nile. So here we are comparing Yamuna and Nile. Here we are comparing Eiffel Tower and Qutub Minar. So something which has lesser trait than another thing. So in that case, lesser, so you understand the word lesser, which means weaker or less importance. So the Eiffel Tower is taller than the Qutub Minar. The river Yamuna is shorter than the Nile. So we are using the comparative degree. Moving ahead. The superlative degree is used when one thing or person is singled out. Singled out means he is made totally exclusive of the group. He is moved out from the group. In a comparison that involves several things or persons. Let me make it clear again. When I say exclusive, means he is the best of the group, but does not necessarily be out of the group. So let me give you an example. Suppose there are 5 people in the class and I ask a question. Who is the tallest boy in the class? John says, I am the tallest. Is he going out of the class? No. He is very much a part of the class. But if I say, John is taller than any other student in the class. So I'm excluding John from the group. That is comparative degree. Because comparison needs 2 entities. Superlative needs one group in which a particular person is raising his hands. And positive is positive because it is not being compared with anyone. The Burj Khalifa is the tallest building in the world. So when we say the tallest, it means we are still keeping Burj Khalifa in the among the other buildings. Kavya's hog-nosed bat is the smallest mammal in the world. So Kavya has a hog-nosed bat, which is the smallest mammal in the world. So this way, Burj Khalifa or Kavya's hog-nosed bat are very much the part of the group which we are talking about. So it singles out in a comparison that involves several things or persons, not two but more than two. So if we talk about that, let me move ahead and tell you. While most adjectives take an ER suffix, well, wait. I won't discuss this. First, I'll tell you there are three cases of comparative degree. Case one when one person is there. Case 2 is when two people are there. Case 3 is when more than two people are there. These three cases we are going to discuss now. But before that, let me tell you this exception which is there. Most adjectives take an ER suffix in their comparative form. Many retain their positive form and take more or less before them. So most of the adjectives are used like better, bigger, larger, smaller. But sometimes what happens, if it's a bisyllable word, we use more before the comparative and most before the superlative. For example, as a pet, a dog is more faithful than a cat. Not faithfuler. We don't say faithfuler. She is more hardworking. Here we have used more hardworking because hardworkinger. We cannot say hardworkinger. So it's more hardworking than her brother. Not hardworking or hardworking. For that matter, we cannot add ER at the last. So why does it happen? Not a part of our syllabus, but still I'll tell you. It's about monosyllable or a bisyllable word. So this particular word has bisyllable or more than two syllables or more than two syllables. For example, intelligent. So intelligent. So E and one short vowel E is there and one I is there. There are two short vowels in intelligent. That's why it becomes more intelligent. Not a part of our syllabus. So I was telling you about three cases. Case 1 when only one person is there. Case 2 when two people are there, two entities are there. And case 3 when more than two people are there. In this case, in these cases, how do we apply the comparative rule or comparison of adjectives? Number 1. John is smarter than intelligent. Let me write this for you. Let's move ahead. Okay, we have ample of space. So here we are using, describing the difficult, the bisyllable words, not the monosyllable words. More difficult, less difficult. Intelligent, more intelligent, less intelligent. Foolish, more foolish, less foolish. Normal, more normal, less normal. So this is how we use. Not normaler, normalest, we don't use like that. Nervous, more nervous, less nervous. Important, more important, less important. This is how we use the two or more syllables, which I told you earlier, not a part of our syllabus obviously, but we need to understand how syllables are used, not necessarily now, but later on in this later stages. So these are used with more or less. Now suppose I have to say, he is wiser than handsome. So this is incorrect. We say he is more wise than handsome. Because when we compare two qualities within the same person, wisdom and handsomeness. Wisdom and handsomeness. So in this case, the adjective which is stronger or more prominent, he's wiser, right? So I should say more wise for that matter. In this case, this person is the same person and two qualities are being compared. Then we say he is more wise than handsome. This is case 1, when only one person is there. But case 2 is when there is a class of objects, 5 people are there. So I say, who is the tallest boy in the class? So John says, I am the tallest. This is superlative degree. So John is taller than all other students in the class. We don't say all students in the class. Or John is taller than any other student in the class. Any other student in the class. So it means I exclude John from the group. This is required to exclude John from the group when we use the comparative degree. Next is, When there are more than 2 people, then what we do? John is the tallest boy of the class. We do not exclude him from the group. We keep him very much a part of the group. Next, we have understood this. So let us move ahead. Active, more active, less active. So types of comparative forms we are discussing. The present and past participles of verbs used as adjectives, past participial adjectives, build their comparative degree with more or less. So those adjectives which are present and past participle of verbs, they are used as adjectives known as participial adjectives and build their comparative degree with more or less. For example, interesting. This is present participle of interest. So more interesting, less interesting. Concerned. It's a verb concerned. So it's past participle concerned. It becomes more concerned, less concerned. Worn. Wear. Wear is the word. W-E-A-R. Wear, wore, worn. So this is past participle. More worn, less worn. Cooked. More cooked, less cooked. Generally what happens? Those verbs which have past participle and present participle used as adjectives, they use this kind of comparison. More, less. So more means obviously more, right? And less means lesser in quality. Means less means smaller in quantity, I can say. Smaller in quantity. Moving ahead. Okay, types of comparative forms. The comparative degree of adjectives is usually followed by than to make the comparison, but the following are a few exceptions to this. For example, we don't say he is junior than me, he is junior to me, senior to me, inferior to me, superior to me, tea is preferable to coffee. So generally words that end with or, they are followed by to and not by than. Exception is preferable or prefer for that matter. So it is followed by to, not by than. I prefer tea to coffee, not prefer tea than coffee or rather than coffee. We don't use like that. Moving ahead. These comparative degrees of the adjectives do not take more or less before them. The adjectives good, bad and far are special cases with the following comparative and superlative degrees. Let me make you understand what it is saying. So good has a different kind of comparative, better, and the superlative is entirely different, best. Bad is worse and worst. Positive, comparative, superlative. Positive, comparative, superlative. Clear? Far has comparative as farther and further both, and superlative as farthest and furthest both. Adjectives that take more or less to build their comparative forms take the most or the least to build their superlative form. So which all adjectives that have their comparative forms as more intelligent or less intelligent, they become the most intelligent and the least intelligent in their superlative forms. Please understand this. The more intelligent, the most intelligent. Less intelligent, the least intelligent. This way. Clear? Moving ahead. So, difficult, more difficult, the most difficult. Important, more important, the most important. Concerned, less concerned, the least concerned. So, less is the comparative, so least is the superlative. More is the comparative, so most is the superlative form. Active, less active, the least active. Moving ahead. So we have questions now. So let us enjoy this process because journey is more powerful than the destination. I mean, the journey is more enjoyable than the destination. So it's a part of the journey which we are doing. When the chapter ends, you will not be very happy. You'll say, okay, the chapter has ended. So let us enjoy this journey of solving some questions. That was my most happiest moment. So you can see over here, students, happiest is already in the superlative degree. We have to find the error in the part and mark it and identify what the error is. So that was my most happiest moment. So happiest is already in superlative degree. So we cannot say most happiest. So happy, happier, happiest. It's a monosyllable word. So happiest is the superlative. So we cannot say most. So error was in part C. That was my happiest moment. That would be the correct answer. We have considered the possibility that an offender had helped commit or been involved with this crime outside of Australia. We cannot see any error in this. Let us re-examine it, re-peruse it. We have considered the possibility that an offender had helped commit or been involved with this crime outside of Australia. No error. 100% no error. At least not with adjectives, I'm sure. At least with adjectives, I'm sure. Moving ahead. Question number 3. A black big box was found in the sea on Monday. Okay. Big is size, black is color. So it will shift here. A big black box. SSACNM. Remember that rule? Error was in part A. Let us move ahead. He said that Aunt Martha had fewer patients than Uncle Henry. Patience is uncountable noun. So let me give you an example. Let me explain the rule. Few used for countable things. Comparative is fewer. Superlative is fewest. Little used for uncountable things. Comparative is less. Superlative is least. Here, patience is uncountable, so it should be less. So what's the error in this part? Fewer should be replaced with less, because it's a thing which has quantity. It should be less and not lesser. So answer should be, he said that Aunt Martha had less patience than Uncle Henry. Okay, got it? Cut. Let us move ahead, okay? So students, let us move ahead and see the next question. Bill is faster than anyone in the team. So it means we are comparing Bill with anyone in the team. So it's faster than anyone else, because when we talk about comparative degree, we need to exclude the person from the group, because we cannot say Bill is faster than anyone in the team means he is faster than himself. Please understand this. Please understand this. If I say Bill is faster than anyone in the team, it means he is faster than himself, which is wrong. So Bill is faster than anyone else in this team. So error is in part C, I would say. Anyone else. It should be followed by anyone, should be followed by else. Clear? You shouldn't confuse that the error is in part C or D, whatever for that matter. It should be in the part C itself. Okay. If you look at Ragul, Vikram and me, you will see that I am the shorter of the group. Okay. There are 3 people, Ragul, Vikram and me. So it should be shortest. It should be shortest, not shorter. And it should be the short. The is already used over here. So the shortest of the group. Clear? Because there are 3 people. For 2 we use comparative shorter, but for more than 2 we use shortest. Clear? Moving ahead to the next question. 7. I have a lot of friends who did well in those exams, but I think that I will do better than them. Okay, the error is in part D, which is them. It should be they. It should be they. When we say I am better than they are, this is the modern English usage. I don't say I am better than them. I am better than they are. This is the correct use. So error was in part D. It should be they. They or they are for that matter. Here in this case, that I will do better than they would. They will. This should be the correct use. Not they are, they will. Error was in part D. Next question number 8. The more difficult step in the process of all the initiatives was the lengthy obstacle course. Okay. The more difficult step in the it should be the most difficult, because it's preceded by the. So more cannot be preceded by the. So it should be the most difficult. Obviously, we are talking about the most difficult step. So it should be superlative, which should be the most difficult step. So error is in part 1. A part has an error. Moving ahead to question number 9. During his lifetime, few people knew about the fuller extent of his life. No need of this comparative. It should be full, right? Why do we need fuller extent of his life? We need the positive degree. So full extent of his life. Clear? So error was in part C. No problem. Carbohydrates and proteins have less calories per gram than fats do. Very easy question. Calories can be counted. So it shouldn't be less, it should be fewer. It should be fewer. I'll tell you why. Calories can be counted. So I described you a few minutes ago that for countable things, few, fewer, fewest. And because than has been used over here, we'll use the comparative form. So it should be fewer than. Clear? Moving ahead. Question number 11. Amy drinks lesser water. Okay, I told you lesser is not the correct word. Lesser means weaker in strength, weaker in intelligence, knowledge, wisdom. So it should be Amy drinks less water. Less is used for quantity to describe which is smaller in quantity. Okay. So Amy drinks less water than Johnny. Then it becomes correct. So B part has an error. Next question. The teacher was reluctant to say which of the twin brothers was the worst musician. Twin means two people. So for two people, the comparative degree should be worse. Bad, worse, worst. And in this case, you can see here it has been written the twin brothers, which means two people. And here we have used the worst. So it's nothing wrong with the sentence. It's absolutely correct sentence, no error. I'll tell you why. When we say of the two sisters, she is the better one. So for two people, we use the better or the worse. And in this case, the comparative is preceded by, the comparative word has a word the, article the before it. It is preceded by article the. So in this case, this is absolutely fine sentence, no error. Moving ahead. 13. Tom is strongest than Jimmy. Okay, we have a very easy question. So Jimmy and Tom are being compared. So it should be stronger. Stronger than Jimmy. We need not read the entire sentence. Error was in part B. Next, I can't run more fast than that horse over there. Not more fast, it should be faster, because we are not comparing two qualities within the same person. So we cannot use more fast. Because we are comparing I, means I am comparing myself with the horse over there. So it should be faster, not more fast. Moving ahead. Question number 15. I think that my favorite book is the better book of all time. Very easy. It should be the best book. Because we are making it superlative, right? It is the best book of all time. Next, Richard hated finals week because it was the stressfulest. This is absurd word. Stressfulest is wrong. It should be the most stressful. The most stressful. Stressful. Not stressfulest. The most stressful time of the year for her. Full stop. For her. Okay, moving ahead. Question number 17. All three of those girls, understand, more than two people, are pure of heart, but Maitri is by far the kindest. Fine, three people, Maitri is the kindest, no error, 100% correct sentence, right? Okay. Marcus and Paul are excellent workers, but Paul works hardest. This is absurd. We are talking about Marcus and Paul, two people are excellent workers, but Paul works harder. This should be the correct use. Comparative degree, harder. Clear? Moving ahead. Question number 19. My class has 7 students in it. Marina is clearly the best, not should the better. Because there are 7 people, so best is the correct answer. Clear? Okay. Which of the heroes do you think is greatest? My favorite one is, or Sam's. My favorite one or Sam's. So which hero? Which of the heroes? So it's not mentioned 2 or more than 2. So we'll use the, we have to use the greatest. Because the error was in part C. Greatest is a word of superlative degree. So it must be preceded by the. Every superlative word is preceded by the article. Clear? Okay, moving ahead. Okay, now we have practice questions. Let us see. Between a train and an airplane is the fastest and more reliable way to travel. Okay, let us understand the rule. And has been used over here. So more reliable is comparative And before this also comparative degree should be used because we are comparing a train and an airplane. So what should be the word used over here? Airplane is faster. Faster is the correct word. So error was in part C. So we have corrected the error. So between a train and an airplane is the faster and more reliable way to travel. Clear? Okay. Next question. They can cook more effectively using simple tools rather than electronic devices. Okay. They can cook more effectively. More effectively, it's an adverb being compared. Effectively is an adverb. More effectively using simple tools rather than using. We are talking about the action, right? So it should be using electronic devices. So error is in part D, not rather than electronic devices, because we have to compare logically. So they can cook more effectively using simple tools rather than using electronic devices. Clear? Okay, next question. The conditions on planets so close to dwarf stars, which are known to release fierce bursts of X-rays and ultraviolet light, might not be the most conducive for life. Might not be the most conducive for life. Okay, let us read it again. The conditions on planets so close to dwarf stars, the conditions of planets most close to dwarf stars, so close to dwarf stars, which are known to release fierce bursts of X-rays and ultraviolet light, might not be the most conducive for life. No error. No error. Here, moving ahead. Okay, let me go to the previous slide once again. Okay, it's fine. No error. No most conducive. It's fine. The science fair was very well done, as Vikram was the better out of all of them, the best out of all, because we are talking about all people, right? So best is the correct adjective. It is true that both the knight and the samurai wielded swords. It is true that both the knight and the samurai wielded swords. However, the samurai was certainly more adept. More. Why it should be more? Because we are talking about samurai and the knight. Knight means the fighter, one who is a gladiator kind of person who fights. We are comparing it with samurai. So it should be more adept. Adept means skilled, talented. Swordplay. Adept at swordplay. The error was in part D, so it should be more adept. Next question. I used to find information about public transportation. I used to find information about public transportation on the printed schedules, but I have discovered that the online ones are more helpful, are the most helpful, because we are comparing many other platforms. So it should be the most helpful. Clear? Moving ahead. Question number 7. Most sweaters are made of acrylic, wool or cashmere, and though they are the more expensive of the most expensive. Because we are comparing more than 2 variety of sweaters. Clear? Though, so most expensive of the 3, because we are talking about 3 varieties of sweaters, so it should be the most expensive. Clear? Though many people may disagree, I think my brother is the cutest, not the cuter. Because, see, though many people may disagree, I think my brother is the cutest baby in the whole wide world. We are comparing babies of all the world, so it should be the cutest. Clear? Not the cuter baby, the cutest baby in the entire world. She stumped me with her riddle. She stumped me with her riddle. Riddle means puzzle. About 10 boxes of various weights. 10 boxes of various weights. The goal was to find the heavier one. Okay. We have 10 boxes, so it should be the heaviest one. Heaviest. H-E-A-V-I-E-S-T. Heaviest one. Clear? Because there are 10 boxes by only using the scale. This is this was the error of in the part C. Clear? Moving ahead to question number 10. A recent study that tested bleach, detergent and vinegar. 3 entities are there, understand. A recent study that tested bleach, detergent and vinegar found that vinegar was more effective at removing certain types of stains. Very easy question. 3 entities are there. So it should be was the most effective. The most effective. Because there are 3 entities are there. That's why we'll use most effective. Clear? 11 number. In the times of Vilayat Khan, left hand became more importance. Absurd. See, more is a is used to describe the comparative degree. So it should be important, because importance is noun, important is adjective. So it should be more important than the right hand. We are comparing two, left hand and right hand. So obviously we should use the comparative degree. We have used that, but it should be more important, not more importance. Importance is noun, so it should be preceded by more and it should be important. Clear? Okay. 12 number question. Going by the spate of dance performances, marriage and kids have not made any negativity impact on her dance career. This is absurd. Why? I'll tell you. Impact is a noun. So it should be preceded by a word called negative. It's an adjective, right? Negativity is a noun. So noun plus noun is not the correct structure. Attributively, remember, adjective used attributively. So impact is a noun. It should be preceded by negative impact. Clear? So error was in the part C. No problem in that. Moving ahead to the next question, 13 number question. Yamini has been performing at most a festival at many places, both at home and abroad, and always with a smile. Okay, this is a very strange question. Okay, it's a festival. There is the hint. There's the hint. It should be at many a festival. We have used structures like there are many a player who has tried to break Sachin's record. Similarly, Yamini has been performing at many a festival. It's the correct structure. So error was in part B. Clear? Next. Alambakkam, now a laid-back village near Tiruchi, was once an important administrative center. Clear? With several surrounding villages coming under its jurisdiction. I don't think there's an error in it. Then also we should try once more. Alambakkam, now a laid-back village near Tiruchi, was once an important administrative center with several surrounding villages. Okay, several is a indefinite numeral adjective, means not an exact number. So we can use surrounding villages, no error, coming under its jurisdiction. It's for Alambakkam. So there's no error in this sentence, no error. Okay. The landscape of Indian classic dance. Okay, classical dance. Very easy question. It's not classic dance. Classic is something very old, and classical is something which is related to the tradition, the culture, the heritage. So classical dance. Clear? Dance in general has developed twists and turns with changing times. Clear? So it should be classical, not classic. Classic is very old, vintage. Moving ahead. 16. Investigators find important evidence in Burak's car, which makes him the prime suspect in Farhat's murder. Investigators find important, no error, evidence in Burak's car, no error, which makes him the prime suspect in Farhat's murder. No error. E. No error. Clear? Okay. Following the incident, all the airlines had offered an unconditioned apology. Very easy question. To the regulator. Apology is a noun. It should be preceded by an adjective. So it should be unconditional. Unconditional. Clear? Unconditional is not a word. Unconditional is a correct word, which is an adjective. Unconditional apology. He has analyzed all inscriptions pertaining to the temple in detail. Okay. He has analyzed, no error. All inscriptions, no error. Pertaining to means related to the temple in detail. No error. There is no error in this question. Moving ahead. The second last question, 19. The Chief Minister asked the water utility to give details of how many water. Very silly error. Water cannot be counted. It's something which can be quantified, right? It should be much. How much water was being supplied to each of the 70 assembly constituencies in Delhi. It should be how much water, not many. Many is something used for something which can be counted. Water cannot be counted, right? The session saw queries that were mostly related to the admission procedure, rather filling up applications via the online portal. Okay, this is a challenging question. Last question, last but not the least. Okay, the session saw queries that were mostly related to the admission procedure, rather filling up Okay, rather should be followed by than. Rather than, error is in part C, no problem in that. So students, let us move ahead and discuss the 12 high frequency words which I promised in the learning objectives. Clear? So first word is foray. What is the meaning of foray? Foray means an attack or assault at a place or someone. Foray means attack or assault. I'll write the word for you, meaning for you. Attack. I'll write only one meaning. Okay, attack. Attack or assault, foray. Next is frenetic. Frenetic means wild in a certain way. Wild and frenzied in a certain way. So somebody, if he is a frenetic, he's behaving wildly in a fanatic way. So it should be frenzied. I'll write the word frenzied. You'll learn a new word, frenzied and wild. Next word is fustian. Fustian means a speech which is very pompous, very ostentatious, means very full of showiness, means a lot of show is there. Pomp is there, pomp. So it's fustian is a speech which is full of ostentation and pomp, show, a lot of show. Next is heresy. Heresy means a belief system which is not in tandem with an established belief system. For example, if everybody feels that dowry is important, for example, the society feels dowry is important, and I say no, dowry is not important, it should be abolished. So my belief system is a heresy. If everybody feels dowry is not important and I say I'll take dowry, it means it's a heresy. A belief system quite away from what is normal is known as a heresy. Okay. Homily. It's not related to home. Homily means a moral discourse, moral speech. A speech which involves a lot of morality is known as a homily. Next is hubri. Hubri means a lot of self-pride. A lot of self-pride means kind of egoism, you can say. Not egoism, egotism, that's a better word. A lot of self-pride, arrogance about oneself is known as hubri. Moving ahead, hyperbole. So it's a figure of speech used as poetic device. Hyperbole is basically an exaggerated use of words. Exaggerated use of words to describe a situation or a person. So it's known as hyperbole. Next is idyll. Idyll means a period, a blissful period when everybody is enjoying himself or herself. A situation or a period or a duration in which everything is blissful, known as idyll. Impecunious, it means very poor, or indigent, or penurious. These are three words: indigent, poor, penurious. So it's impecunious. Incognito. Incognito, everybody knows about it. It's available in Google, incognito tab, which means hidden or not displayed, concealed kind of thing. So incognito. Then next is ingratiate. Ingratiate means to satisfy. Ingratiate means to satisfy someone or appease someone. And the last word is engender. Engender means to cause something to happen. To cause something to happen. Ingratiate means to satisfy. Impecunious, poor. Idyll means a blissful period. A blissful period. Hyperbole, an exaggerated statement used to exaggerate a situation or overdo a situation. Hubri means excessive self-pride. Homily means moral discourse or speech. Heresy means a belief which is away from the normal. Fustian means a speech full of pomp. Frenetic means frenzied and wild. And foray means attack or assault. So moving ahead, students, let us summarize today's session. We did adjectives, types of adjectives, rules related to adjectives, exercises based on adjectives, and 12 high frequency words. High frequency words are those words which are used very frequently. I hope you enjoyed today's session. Thanks a lot.
ஃபாரின்ல படிச்சாதான் பெரிய ஆளாக முடியும்னு இல்ல, நம்ம ஒரு வெராண்டால படிச்சாலே போதும். VerandaRace வங்கி மற்றும் அரசு தேர்வுகளுக்கான ஆன்லைன் பயிற்சி.